Teofimo Lopez, like I said, earlier this morning, he said that Boots Ennis declined to fight against him. Teofimo Lopez claimed that Jerome Boots Ennis had rejected his fight for a unification fight with, or it wouldn't be unification, but it'd be for the WBA, IBF welterweight title fights, and that's the fight that Turki Alalshikh wanted to make, supposedly, he says. He says this then as well. With that being said, I am not sure if I will continue to be a professional boxer since everyone is together and holding hands like their life savings depend on it. What a shame. That's Teofimo Lopez's statement there. And let me say this. First and foremost, Boots Ennis likely has a mandatory to fight. You could pay him to step aside, all different things, but Boots Ennis does have a mandatory as to fight. Boots Ennis and Teofimo Lopez, while it would be an interesting fight, is not the best fight to make right now. I've said that time and time again. Teofimo Lopez and Devin Haney should fight each other, and the winner of that fight gets a shot at Boots Ennis. That would make more sense. Teofimo Lopez has had a good performance on that Times Square card, but over the duration of the past little while, has not had a good performance. And then he's gone on running his mouth in a disgraceful way. In a way that does not make Boots Ennis necessarily want to fight him, but a way that probably causes a lot of shame to Teofimo Lopez. And if I'm going to be honest right now, Boots Ennis likely declined that fight because it was a mandatory. And second of all, he doesn't have any necessity to go fight Teofimo Lopez. And so for Teofimo Lopez to then go out and say, well, I don't know if I want to be a professional boxer. Well, let me say this. That's a shame. It is a shame that you said that. What a shame. Yeah. What a shame that you decided to run your mouth the way you do. And at the same time, there are other top fighters that want to fight you. Devin Haney has made it very, very clear that he wants to fight Teofimo Lopez. Go fight him. Just because Boots Ennis has a mandatory fight to go fight next does not mean that it's a shame. And I don't know what extent he said when he said Turki Alalshikh wanted to make that fight. Sure, maybe in the future, but right now that fight did not make a lot of sense. It would have been an entertaining fight? Yes. Would it have been an interesting fight to see how it went down? Sure. But Boots Ennis has a mandatory to fight first. And if you're going to do anything, move up to 147 first, get a fight underneath your belt, and then go fight Boots Ennis if you beat Devin Haney. And that would be a good fight in and of itself right there. So when I look at this opportunity, no, it makes no sense to me that Teofimo Lopez is wanting to possibly step away from boxing. First of all, he's not going to do it. He might fake retire or something along those lines once again, but he's not retiring permanently. He just likes to run his mouth, say crazy things to stay in the headlines. It's a weird way of doing business, but that's how Teofimo Lopez does it. My biggest thing for him now is him saying the dictator tweet is not a good thing for him. Because if he could not get those big fights at the present moment before he said that tweet out, without Turki Alalshikh, he's not going to get any of those big fights. There's no way, shape, or form he's going to get that. And now, Turki Alalshikh could obviously put those behind him and go move forward with Teofimo Lopez. Sure. But running your mouth and showing that you are mentally unstable to the extent that you're going to be running your mouth and saying these crazy things and think that is wise. Listen, even if you think that about Turki Alalshikh, why are you going to tweet that out? And then delete it. If you really want to stand by your words and you wanted to call Turki Alalshikh a dictator with the DICK all in caps, then leave that tweet up and make that statement. But the fact that you pulled that tweet down immediately after, and on top of that, you're going to try to go out there and say that now what are you going to do for a fight? It makes no sense to me. Because Teofimo Lopez is going to put himself in a worse and worse situation. He's losing fans. He's losing his support. He's losing Turki Alalshikh, who's going to be one of the only people that could get him a big fight lined up. And you're just going to keep throwing this stuff down the drain. I said this 2 weeks ago. Teofimo Lopez is hurting his legacy every time he opens his mouth. And he continues to do it once again. But this time, he's losing it by his words. And on top of that, he's losing it now by what he tweets. He's going to have to grow up a little bit. Maturity is a fact. And when Turki Alalshikh said this response to him, maturity is to realize most things don't deserve a reaction. He was spot on. Teofimo Lopez is a great fighter. His mental space is not a good place. He needs to get himself mentally figured out, how he's going to proceed with his life, and stop trying to do this ridiculous shenanigans online with your mouth. And actually do it the right, if you're going to become a villain, do it the right way and get yourself the right position. Because the way you're doing it right now is only going to hurt yourself in the future, and you're not going to get the big fights that you want, and you're also going to tarnish your legacy. So it's up to you to decide on what he wants to do. But in my opinion, he's doing this the wrong way.